Have gone. The Mets are in town, first of three, as the Orioles look at to make a good homestand out of these 9 games. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne for the Orioles. You build on the wins. That's what it's about. Young man who did the pitching job last night, Jake Arrieta, was outstanding. That is a vote of confidence for the future all around for the Orioles. Another vote of confidence, the extra base hits that have not been there for the O's much of this season. They were there last night. In fact, for Adam Jones, he would deliver a double, his 7th of the season. For Luke Scott, it would be a triple, his 1st of the year. And the 1st of the year department home run-wise would come to Scott Moore. It is the first time since April 14 the Orioles in one game have had a double, a triple, and a home run. That makes scoring runs, Jim Palmer, a whole lot easier.
Well, it really does. You know, even Scott Moore, he was hurt last year. He hadn't hit a home run since April of 2008. And again, you know, the little things, I mean, the last play of the game, it gets by Wigington. Scott Moore's right there to make the out. But the big thing is, and we see it, the teams that beat the Orioles, they do the little things. They get the clutch hits. You know, David Hernandez came in throwing 98. I said today, have you ever thrown like that? He said, no. Well, it was good to see. And again, you know, we got a left-hander out there that, you know, he's a funny guy, but he made some great pitches to get Cervelli out. So it was a team effort last night. And really, the way the Orioles have been played, that's what it takes to win. And,
of course, you go to your next starter. And tonight, that is going to be the veteran Jeremy Guthrie, who will be on the mound. You take a look at the differential this year, last year. ERA, a big downturn for him. The inning started, he's better. Opponent batting average, much better. Quality starts, much better. The home runs per starts, way down from last year. How come the difference?
Well, I think that, first of all, he didn't have the WBC. He went away last year, did not get any innings. I think, to me, it was an aberrational year. He didn't have the good slider. He didn't have a sinker. He won his first 2 games and then just didn't make good pitches. He's back to where he was 2 years ago. For him to start getting some wins, the Orioles are going to have to get back to where they want to be, which is scoring runs.
All right, trying to make it 2 in a row in this first game against the Mets. We'll be back. Good house on hand already to watch the opener. Jeremy Guthrie taking the mound. First pitch coming up. Quest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. A great night to have the barbecue going. Dogs, onions, peppers. In fact, that was lunch today. And it looked just that good. Beautiful night here at Camden Yards. A little gentle breeze. Looks like it's blowing out a bit towards center field to get this ball game underway. Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Southwest Airlines for the New York Mets. It'll be Reyes, Pagan, and Wright. Davis, Bay, and Carter, Barajas, Francoeur, and Tejada with David Wright leading the Mets. 40 RBIs, the 4-time All-Star at third base.
And take a look at our scouting report for Jeremy Guthrie. Well, he's better in his record. The numbers indicate that. Just not a lot of run support this year. And you talked about this in the opening. 35 led the American League. This year, only 9 in his first 12 starts. And then he loves to pitch in the interleague. Doesn't always win. His last start against the Mets was a loss. One of the only loss the Orioles had last year. But again, the only Eric Bedard with a better earned run average in interleague baseball than any pitcher in baseball.
Jeremy Guthrie in interleague play, a 2.64 ERA and a 4-2 record lifetime in interleague games. So back to the interleague these two teams go. The Mets 2-1 against the American League. The Orioles 1-2 in their games against the Nationals. Jerry Manuel, the manager, and stepping up Reyes. Great speed. As Reyes goes, so goes the Mets. That's been the telltale line. And while he's been out of the lineup a lot with injuries past couple of years, the Mets have struggled. Now back in. He's hitting .254, and he's a speedster.
And back in leading off. Tried to hit third, and he's hitting over 300 since they put him back, May 15th in that leadoff spot.
Reyes will take the pitch outside for a ball. Jeremy Guthrie has faced only about 3 batters that are in this lineup previously, and Reyes is not one of them. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and he lines that one to right field. That's going to be off the scoreboard, right off the shelf. Markakis' throw will be cut off, and Reyes starts it out with a 2-bagger.
Well, he had a good series against the Padres that were in New York. Hit a home run to tie it a couple of nights ago, and right here works the count into his favor, and then looks for a fastball, gets it. And this time of day, not that Markakis could have caught that ball, it is a very difficult field to play in right field because of the sun.
That was right on the lip where that ball hit. You see the sun field. You can't even see the scoreboard with that reflection right there. So a runner in scoring position right away, and that'll bring up Angel Pagan. Pagan, the center fielder, real good numbers. He is having a very fine season for this ball club. We'll raise the big issue early and talk about it as we go with the Mets. They are one team at home. They are another team on the road. They are a great home team. It's been a disaster on the road. Gobbled up by Moore, but he gets the job done. Reyes moves over to third base, and there's one away. For the Mets this year, everything at home has been right. 24-10, batting average, runs per game, extra base hits, ERA, tremendous. Look what happens when they go on the road. It's a complete reversal.
Yeah, this is the big number, don't you think? I mean, what, about 2.4 runs more? It's a great pitching park in Citi Field, but on the other hand, you got to pitch a little bit better on the road.
That's a really high ERA.
Yeah, it really is compared to what they've done at home.
Yeah. So Wright gets the RBI chance. He'll go to the hole. He's got a base hit, and Reyes will score. And the Mets produce a run early, a 1-0 lead.
Take a look at the Oriole defense. Patterson, Jones, Markakis around the infield. Tejada, Izturis, Moore, and Wigington. Matt Wieters will be behind the plate for the Orioles tonight.
Defense brought to you by Cisco Federal, a proud mission partner to the United States Department of Defense. Wright gets his 41st RBI and a 1-0 lead early for the Mets. Here is Ike Davis. Davis playing at first base, and he is having a fine year, batting in the cleanup spot they've really struggled to fill. In fact, 2 of the hitters who have batted cleanup for the Mets this year aren't even with a team anymore. 2 were designated for assignment. Davis has apparently found a spot, though, hitting cleanup. First time he's ever faced the Orioles. Davis with a cut and a foul tip into the mitt, and falling down at first base. Ty Wigginton coming off the bag ended up doing a
well, I think he catches his feet with David Wright. He's coming off the bag, and nope. No. I wish he had tripped over Wright's feet, but he didn't.
Look at the smile on Wiggy's face. And he's taken the what-fors. He used to play with the Mets. And he knows Wright very well, and Wright has given it to him. Davis with one down, the 0-1 delivery to him, and that will miss outside for a ball.
Well, what they try to do with Ike Davis, I mean, tremendous strength. The walk-off home run on a hanging splitter. They saw 3 of them. The third one was up and hit it about 450 into the deck at City Park in right field. And there you go.
That one will get away, and down to second base goes Wright. An inauspicious first inning so far for Guthrie.
Well, the one thing, whether it's Reyes, of course, he doubles. He leads the Met team with 15 steals. David Wright, for a guy that can hit home runs, no lead whatsoever. And again, just a tailing throw to Wigington. Ball tails away. He's unable to get to it. Not a very big lead. You throw over there because he's stolen 11 out of 15, and he can steal. But he didn't have the kind of lead. It's just pretty much a scouting report throw, and it gets away. And now all of a sudden you got another guy in scoring position.
That'll be an error charged on Guthrie on the throw. Davis is only 23 years old. It's only his 3rd season of professional baseball. He played A and Double-A last year, and here he is batting cleanup for the Mets. 1-1 delivery to him, and he'll put that one over near the seats. Tejada coming over and will not have a play. Davis, like many of these Mets, road average and home average distinctly different. He hits .305 at Citi Field in New York and .200 on the road.
And that's the amazing thing. Everybody says it's a great pitcher's park, yet it's ample if you hit line drives. Now, Davis, of course, a power hitter. He hit a ball yesterday in the doubleheader they had in the second game. There would have been a home run here, but it was just an easy out. I mean, you got about a 14-foot wall in center and left in New York.
Runner in scoring position. 1-2 delivery on the way to him is outside for a ball. 2-2.
And it's probably a good matchup for him. From what I saw all week in watching the Mets play, is that they just try to get him out with a lot of slow stuff, and it's been working. I mean, he's hitting a little bit over 200 in his last 12 games because slower is better to Ike Davis unless you make a mistake like they did the other night, and then he hits it a long way.
2-ball, 2-strike count on him. David Wright off second base, and that will be chopped foul. The Mets split the doubleheader and had a very good homestand, 6-1 doubleheader against San Diego yesterday that included a one-hitter in the second game of the doubleheader, the 34th in their history, and the 26th complete game one-hitter. Jonathan Neese set a franchise record, retired the final 21 batters to end the ball game. 2-ball, 2-strike count. And Davis will take the breaking ball inside, and it's full, 3-2.
I suppose, in a manner, Neese was supposed to pitch tonight. And they moved him up a day because of the doubleheader, and then R.A. Dickey, who will start for the Mets, he pitches tonight.
Guthrie, 8 runs coming into this game, scored in the first inning, the most in any inning against him. 1 across so far. 3-2 delivery on the way, and Davis will go down swinging. 2 down.
Well, it was the right pitch, and he gets successful. I'm not sure you want to throw too many hanging sliders to hitters, but it stays up, but it stays up enough. And again, better fastball hitter. And you can see the big kind of trigger of his swing. Some people would call it a hitch, I guess, but when you're hitting well, it's the trigger.
Juan Samuel looking to make it 2 in a row after the victory against the Yankees. Here is Jason Bay. Bay will take the slider for a strike. Bay hitting at .281, 3 home runs and 24 RBIs on the season for him. Bay has faced Guthrie a number of times. You see the 6 for 12 with 3 home runs off Jeremy Guthrie.
And he's hit him all directions.
Takes that one to center field. Jones going over. Adam Jones diving and makes the catch. Adam Jones with an outstanding defensive play on Jason Bay. Saves a run and ends the inning. Stretching it out. Center fielder hauls it in and makes sure the umpire could see it. A run in and a couple of hits with 1 left on. Thomas Turris. Last 3 for Jones, 4 for 12. Home run double and 5 ribbies. The knuckleballer, somewhat. Dickey. Down low for a ball.
And let's take a look at our scouting report. Well, he's won his last 3 starts. What an opportunity. Well supported. He pitches well. They get him a lot of runs. And kind of the Tommy Who is that when he went to sign out of the University of Tennessee back in '96, he was the 18th guy. They offered him $810,000. And when they did the pre-signing physical, they found out he doesn't have a ulnar collateral ligament. So the bonus went from $810,000 to $75,000. He said, I don't care. I just want to play. His agent said, well, you know what? I guess you can. That ligament's worth of what, about $700 and some thousand. But and there's that heater that you talked about.
Got him.
Yeah, I looked like he just added a little bit. So he's been hanging around. He's with Texas, Minnesota last year. That's fast, I guess, a knuckleball, but it's a very fast one, and it just darts up and away. So there you go. He has worked with Charlie Huff. Hardly any rotation at all. That's the way you want to throw it. Tim Westfield helped him, yeah. And boy, that H.H. Gregg really slows it down, and you see the fact that the ball is just kind of dancing like a butterfly.
Here's Tejada, 4-game hit streak. He is an unconventional knuckleball pitcher, if you can imagine that. Dickey throws as hard a knuckleball as anybody ever has. It'll be up at 87, 88 miles an hour at times. He will throw that fastball, and the differential is not that much different. And when he doesn't have the knuckler working, it's the fastball and a changeup that he will throw in a ball game. So he can go back and forth from that knuckler to a fastball and changeup, but it's the knuckler that's given him a career.
It really is, and he started throwing it around 2005, and he ran into Charlie Huff, the great knuckleballer with Texas and the Dodgers. He helped him. Necros helped him. Wakefield's helped him. Tim Wakefield's still pitching for the Red Sox. Phil Necro in the Hall of Fame. And he's got 3 other pitches. He's got a fastball that can get up into the mid-80s, and you just saw the slider.
2-1 delivery on the way, and Tejada will swing through that one. So it really makes it difficult for hitters against Dickey. It's bad enough when you're facing a knuckleballer, but when you get somebody who throws such a variation and such a hard knuckler, you really haven't seen anything like this before unless you faced him. 2-0 delivery, foul back over the screen. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Miguel Tejada. He has faced Dickey 4 times, 0 for 4 against the Mets starter. Opponents are hitting .292 off him. Well, the average has been up there. And reaching for that one, it'll go to second and knocked down. Tejada not going to get it there in time. Ruben Tejada at second base couldn't get Miguel Tejada, and it's an infield hit.
And Miggy will take it. He's been hitting extremely well. That's now, 7 out of his last 9 games, and he just goes with it. When Miguel is hitting well, he hits the ball to right field about as well as any right-handed hitter. You can see him stretch out to make coverage in contact with 2 outs, or 2 strikes, excuse me.
Well, the Orioles get their first hit, trailing 1-0 in the ball game, and Nick Markakis will stand in. Nick's got a 4-game hit streak coming into the ball game. He's gone 6 for 18 during the streak. And Nick looks like the extra base hits are coming back as well. The average has stayed up there anyway. He's hitting .292 and has been flirting right around that .300 average for the last month and a half. Swings through the knuckler there and will fall behind. He's 77-mile-an-hour knuckler, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, the Yankees really played him almost like a right-handed pull hitter. They still play a couple of steps to left center field, and then they threw him a lot of breaking balls. He said not a lot, 12. He counted them yesterday.
0-2 delivery on the way, and that knuckler's outside. And you see Barajas, but he'll be doing the whole game. The catcher moving around. It's not an easy job, and you get a full night of catching when a knuckler's on the mound. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Markakis, 8th in the American League in walks, 15th in on-base percentage. It gets away. Markakis is going to go. Barajas didn't realize what the count was.
Well, it seemed like he still had a play at first.
Barajas did not hustle after the ball, either thinking it was a foul ball or not strike 3.
It would have been you can see from this angle right here, and you know Miggy gets a good read. He sees the ball going back there. Markakis, Nick will run. So a break, an extra out, so to speak.
It's either a
I guess I guess the ruling
couldn't go.
Yeah, the ruling is again you can't
That's
advance.
a strikeout. I'm looking down there, and Patterson's already gone. Ground ball, Wigginton, and that will do it. With the runner on at first base on the strikeout, the runner can't advance, so that's why Barajas didn't go after him. The runner Tejada had already gone down to second base. Mets have the 1-0 lead after one.
Bottom of the standings, Gary.
That one to left center field towards the gap. Patterson's got plenty of time, and Carter's retired.
And he said, so anytime you have a pitcher like Jeremy Guthrie that in his last 7 starts, he's put up 6 quality starts, the opposing team is going to have the advantage. And also you have to realize the fact that the Mets have the 3rd worst winning percentage on the road in the National League. So Jerry Manuel being very real about the competition here tonight. Gary?
And said this ought to be an interesting and good matchup. And one of the things he was worried about, he was talking about this ballpark compared to Citi Field. He said, I've got to make sure now the hitters have got to remember not to get away from what we're doing at home and getting hits. Go to the gaps. Just try and line the ball. Don't start looking at that right field porch here at Camden Yards and think you're going to just hit a home run. And he was a little bit concerned that they not do that. Ballparks, the MLB ranking, Citi Field 21st in average, ERA 5th. Camden Yards 9th in average, ERA 13th. This ballpark, as far as the Mets are concerned, is a hitter's yard.
Yeah, it is. And I guess his point is just gap to gap. That's how the good hitters hit anyway. Doesn't mean you don't look for fastballs. I mean, Barajas is as good a fastball hitter as anybody. He was up in Toronto. I mean, you make a mistake in the middle of the plate, it's going to try to go out of here. But that's the way he hits anyway.
Jeremy Guthrie with 1 down, 2-1 count. Barajas has 2 home runs in this ballpark, but only a 169 batting average. He does lead the Mets in long balls. He'll pop that one up on the right side. Wigginton coming in. And will put it away. And there are 2 down. Luke Scott coming up. Scott with a triple in the ball game. As the comparison with Luke Scott against Jeff Francoeur. When we talk about streaky hitters, see the numbers and how they have varied over strings of games for both of these ball players. And right now, for Francoeur, 476. He's hot. Luke Scott, last 4, 429. That one towards short as Torres is up with it. And a good inning for Jeremy Guthrie. He retires the side in order. We'll go to the bottom half of the second inning. The Mets with the first inning run, leading it 1-0. Luna. In interleague play, these are the all-time leaders in doubles, with Jermaine Dye on top, Damon Jeter, Gonzalez, Kotsay, Miguel Tejada with 47, and Brian Roberts right there with him, along with Bobby Abreu and Todd Helton. 1-0 lead, the Mets on top. Luke Scott coming up. The Orioles 1-2 in interleague play this year. They went 11-7 last year, and all-time the Birds are 102 wins and 130 losses in interleague play. Scott last night with the three-bagger. When we came out, we wondered, was he running hard as he slammed the ball bat down? He didn't think he hit it well. Talked to the manager after the game. Luke today saying that he felt he did get out of the batter's box and that he was running hard. His manager had talked to him afterwards. He said it wasn't about that. I talked with him and the manager. You saw the picture. 1 ball, 1 strikeout on Scott. And the pitch will be taken down low, and it's 2-1. One interleague game already completed today as the Cubs and White Sox in the Chicago rivalry played this afternoon. The White Sox beat the Cubs 10-5. Down to first base, Davis with Dickey covering. 1 away.
Take a look at the Mets defense behind R.A. Dickey. Bay Pagan, who's played very well. Frank Cork can throw with the best of them out in right field. Wright, terrific third baseman. Reyes with great range. Tejada, a rookie at only 20. Ike Davis over at first, and then Barajas. Only 2 out of 19. Henry Blanco is the guy that really can throw people out. He's one of their backup catchers, homered yesterday.
Jones coming up. And I'm hoping that the way he's been hitting the ball is going to continue. He's got a 5-game hit streak. 6 for 19 during the streak. The knuckler goes all the way to the back. Boy, for the Orioles offense, if in fact the extra base hits, the line drives continue, it's going to make a big difference for the Orioles in these ball games during the 5-game streaks and big numbers. That one chopped towards second base. Tejada makes the play. Jones retired. And these balls are being batted into Mother Earth here to start.
Well, they are, because they're dipping and diving and moving and whatever. I mean, it's a great story. You know, when you don't have, I mean, the reason the bonus went from $810 to $75,000 was basically because normally if you don't have an ulnar collateral ligament, you can't open a door, you can't start a car, you can't do anything. Yet he's been able to, you know, be able to pitch. You know, this is all the way back to 1996 when he was going to sign out of the University of Tennessee. He did have an operation for bone spurs. And then, of course, he was a marginal guy, you know, before he came up with a knuckleball.
Matt Wieters, that'll get away from Barajas. Obviously, as you can see, if the Orioles can get some runners on, there are lots of chances to move around. Because Barajas struggles catching the knuckler.
Yeah, they don't steal a lot on him. I mean, they've only attempted 1 time out of 3. This will be his 5th start. But then again, not a lot of guys getting on. I mean, look at that ball. Just, I mean, this is Wakefield, of course, you know, has won close to 200 games. But I mean, this ball it's getting up there and moving.
2 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, and that's fouled straight back. Matt Wieters up with 2 down and nobody on. Kenny Rogers was the last Met to start a season 4-0. He actually started 5-0. That was some 15 years ago. Dickey's trying to go 4-0 here in this game. Wieters will put that one in the air to left center. Bay, the left fielder, will make the catch, and Dickey retires the side in order. We've completed 2 here at Camden Yards, and the Mets have the 1-0 lead. What a beautiful night for a baseball game. 76 degrees when we started. Very little breeze, if any. Sunset time here at Camden Yards. Guthrie ready to go to work. Tejada will stand in. Ruben Tejada batting 9th and playing at second base. And the top of the order in the inning, Reyes and Pagan.
Yeah, Luis Castillo would be their normal second baseman, but he's on the disabled list.
Along with Beltran. Down to third, fair ball. One Tejada to another. One away. Tomorrow, celebrate Birdland's 2 home teams. The first 20,000 fans, 15 and over, will get the O's Ravens Rally Cap presented by Masson. Ravens marching band, cheerleaders, mascot. They'll be here as part of the Mets game. You can call 888-848-BIRD. Go to Orioles.com for tickets. Due to vendor distribution problems, the cap may not arrive in time for tomorrow's game. If so, a voucher will be issued so you can redeem it for a cap when they arrive. Reyes again will show bunt. He is second in the league in stolen bases, so important to keep him off. Celebrates his 27th birthday today. 1-0 delivery to him. Reyes scored after he doubled in the first inning. He's collected his 1,000th major league hit this season. Got that in May. 1-1 delivery by Guthrie to him is outside. 2-1.
Well, you talked about his effect on this lineup in 20 and 6 when he scores a run, because man, that's a number. Usually when your leadoff guy does get on base, but again, when he's healthy, last year the hamstring problem, he can steal bases. Second in the National League with 15 steals.
And he puts that one to center field. Jones. 2 down. Guthrie with a couple of quick outs here.
Well, it's pretty cut and dry as far as I mean, when they get Jeremy Guthrie, which they did against Minnesota, Cleveland, where they got him 6-8, and then on another occasion they got him some runs, he wins. And when they don't, he's gotten 6 runs in his last 4 games, and he's won one of them, but got shut out by Leicester and the Red Sox the other day. So they pitched well, but when you're last in run support, the records just don't indicate how well you pitch.
2 down. Swing and a miss by Angel Pagan, who grounded out his first time up. When you look at the earned runs Guthrie has given up, there were a string of ball games, 3 of them in which he gave up 1 earned run in those games. It was able to come away with only 2 wins in the 3. In his last 5, 2-2 and 1 losses in the last 2 against Boston and Toronto. His only appearance against the Mets came in June of last year here, and he took the loss even though he had a good start. He allowed 3 unearned runs in a ball game that the Mets won by a score of 6-4. And the 0-2 delivery on the way. Most of the team started to the dugout. They'll move back.
Of course, if you want to commiserate, just go over and talk to Johan Santana. He's gotten, what, 6 runs in his last 5 games?
Same story.
Yep. There's what we talked about. Just loves to pitch in the interleague.
1-2 delivery on the way. Not only is that second among active, it is 4th best all time in interleague play with that ERA of 2.64. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Guthrie working at a pretty quick pace here against the Mets. 2-2 delivery to Angel Pagan, and the fastball will be taken 3-2.
Well, good on-base percentage. This is his power side. He can run. I mean, he's got 12 steals. He's a terrific center fielder, switch hitter. You know, again, last year, leg problems. Comes out of Puerto Rico, but he's a player.
3-2 delivery to him. He'll take that in the air to left center field. Patterson. Warning track, and he's got it. Now Guthrie retires the side in order, and that's 8 in a row he has set down since Wright's RBI single in the first inning. 1-0 Mets. Game, 25 home runs. ERA, couple of runs better against the National League since 2008. Cast your Scott's All-Star ballot at Lowe's and enter to win a VIP All-Star experience. Compliments of Scott.
I know about 12 guys in Orioles uniforms would raise their hands if they could get 5.8 runs in a game. Even the relievers would have their hands up.
Any 0-1 delivery.
We'll take our chances.
Home run last night.
Yeah, and a towering drive off of A.J. Burnett. And again, the last year at Norfolk hurt his thumb, didn't play after May 15th. First home run since the 8th.
There's the knuckler.
Of April back in 2008, but a little different tonight. I mean, you just don't see this. And you see right there, it's been 74. This one a little harder at 81. And it's almost like you just, a lot of times you try to expand the strike zone of the hitter by when you're 0-2, and R.A. Dickey able to do that. The amazing thing is, he was started the year in the minor leagues after being with the Twins and signing as a major league or minor league free agent.
Pagan's going to go back on the fly ball by his Turris, and his Turris retired on 1 pitch. 2 quick outs for Dickey, who does work in a hurry. Tonight's first inning moment brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. Two down.
But back in April, he gave up a leadoff double and then retired the next 27, pitching for the AAA team in Buffalo. Pretty impressive. But that'll get you to the big leagues when John Maine, one of their starters, has shoulder problems.
Maine's on his way back. Castillo's got that bruised left foot. Beltran played center field for the first time in his rehab of knee surgery today. And Jerry Manuel has some hopes that on this road trip they actually may get Beltran back. He would like to get him back up here to DH a little to break him in before he goes back out into center field. Manuel said, I know once I put him in center field, that'll be the end of that. I won't be able to get him out. 1-1 delivery, and that'll be taken. Corey Patterson, the strikeout victim, his first time up. Dickey, no walks, 3 strikeouts so far. Despite the movement on that knuckler, only 9 walks in the 27 innings worked. And that caught the umpire and took him down. Ed Rapulano. That was a foul ball that came through Barajas. And now, as is done for catchers, everybody will wait for a moment, and there will be no one complaining about the delay.
Everybody's got a smile on his face, but I'm not really sure that Ed Rapulano has. No, he might. Yeah, he's going. Yeah, well, of course, it's funny because first base umpire Tom Hallian, you umpire, you're going to get hit around the groin area. Catchers certainly are going to get hit there.
A lot of sympathy on those plays by everybody in the world. A 2-ball, 2-strike count on Patterson. And there's that knuckler again. Barajas will make the throw. That'll be 4 strikeouts for R.A. Dickey. And Dickey's retired everybody since the second batter faced in that first inning. He's smiling, though. Each pitcher has retired 8 in a row now. Wright had the RBI single in the first inning. He was the last Met to reach against Jeremy Guthrie. And he'll take the pitch inside. He's now 2 for 4 lifetime. Interesting. Opponent batting average on the slider this year. It had been .283 last year. And the Mets have not hit the slider well this season. Their average is just over 200. So in that pitch, Guthrie would appear to have an advantage coming into this ball game with the slider.
If he executes his pitch.
Yes.
Now, last year when David Wright came in here, he swung at everything up and in. So again, the 2 of the first 3 pitches, slider away, 2 fastballs in. Now, of course, he takes them this year.
And he hits a towering fly ball to shallow left. Patterson. That was up there. Wright is retired. On Sunday, the first 10,000 kids 14 and under at the Orioles-Mets interleague game are going to get the reversible Orioles floppy hat. The kid-size version of the O's floppy hat. It's a big hit with the families all over Birdland. We hope you'll be here to get yours. Get your tickets in advance, 888-848-BIRD. Or go to Orioles.com, and you can look as good as they do, especially with the glasses. She had a little shoot today, a model shoot.
You get your hat? Yep.
No, I haven't. Did you get yours?
No.
No. We don't get that stuff anymore, you know.
Well, apparently
we're
not.
off the list. Here's Ike Davis, strikeout victim. Davis hitting at .259. And a big, long cut. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, he has a big, long, powerful swing. And they will, you know, if he's a good fastball hitter or you hit the mistake breaking ball, they'll still keep throwing you slower and slower. Here come the hats.
You just got your floppy hat. So now you're all set for the entire summer. And you do look good in it.
In case I'm in Sarasota where it's 90 degrees.
That's right. You wear that to the beach. Here's the 2-1 delivery.
Yeah, no, that's right. That is where everybody rehabs, right?
Orioles.
Yeah, that's where everybody rehabs. If I lose my voice again, I'm going to Sarasota.
That's as good a reason as any to go. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Any reason will do.
So let's see if he gets a fastball to hit right here. Yep.
Towards the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. So Davis is on with a single, ending the 9 in a row retired by Jeremy Guthrie. That'll be hit number 3 for the Mets.
Well, there have been really 2 balls hit hard tonight, and the guy stepping to the plate just crushed one. The degree of difficulty on the play that Adam Jones made to save Guthrie the second run of the first inning was unbelievable because the ball was hooking away from him. Jason Bay was the man who hit it and denied an extra base hit, an RBI, and it ended the inning. Bay has been in a funk. 1 for his last 18 over 5 games. 1-0 delivery to him. And that is inside, and that will bring Wieters out to the mound. Man, this ball again hooking away, and just a terrific play. Wright would have scored to make it 2-0. He would have had another runner in scoring position. Instead, you're out of the first inning, and that's huge. Huge for pitchers. Talk about streak hitters. Bay's been one of those this year. He had a disastrous start, picked it up, and now over the last 5, it's dipped again. 2-0 delivery to him. And he hit that ball hard that Jones caught. And a 3-0 count. But what a year he had for the Red Sox last year. I mean, with the on-base percentage and the 36 home runs and 119 RBIs. He's on with a walk. Well, that's a product of that first pitch that he just pulverized to center field. Again, anytime anybody comes in that's 6 for 12 with 3 home runs, you know they're seeing the ball out of your hand pretty well, and it usually also tells you that you're not making very good pitches. Now 2 on for the Mets here in the 4th inning as Davis goes down to second base. Bay with the first walk of the ball game by Guthrie at first. And here is Chris Carter. Carter, the designated hitter, which of course the Mets have to adjust to playing in these American League ballparks. And that one will be taken for a ball. Fernando Tatis is going to be the designated hitter in tomorrow's game. Gary Manuel had already decided that, and then after that he's going to see how the series has gone and who's doing what.
Guthrie got a fly ball out on Carter the first time up. Chris Carter will take it on the inside corner. Carter's been used as a pinch hitter coming off the bench. Not a lot of at-bats. 26 in this his 20th game played. 3 doubles are the extra base hits, 5 RBIs.
Well, he has hit everywhere he's played in the minor leagues.
1-1 to him. He hits this one to right field. That is way back. Warning track wall and goodbye home run. Chris Carter, a 3 RBI homer. That is his first of his major league career.
You know, up with the Red Sox in 2008, 2009, and they got themselves a guy again that, you know, he's always hit around 300 with some power, change up. He goes down and covers that outside corner. I mean, great extension. The change up, 84 versus 93 or 4, speeds up the bat. And last night the ball carried. It's carrying again tonight.
Our Exmo brought to you by H.H. Gregg. We make buying TVs and appliances simple. H.H. Gregg, price and advice guaranteed. That one by Barajas to Patterson. Sinking liner that Corey comes back on. And Barajas is retired. Guthrie surrenders his 9th home run of the season. Carter getting his major league first and picking up 3 RBIs in that DH role. And a 4-0 lead. Here's Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur grounded out his first time up. That will be taken away, and the count goes to 2-0. The home run ball has been something Jeremy Guthrie has cut way back on, as Jim was talking about, from last year. But that one just jumped up. He got one in there, and he didn't miss it.
Well, the damage of that is it's a 3-run home run. You think it's the right pitch, and maybe it was. He just had a real good at bat against it. Went right down the middle.
That one in the air to left. Patterson has it lined up. And Francoeur is retired. But a single, a walk, and then the 3 RBI homer by Carter. And the Mets have a 4-0 lead. For the World Championship.
Fond memories.
Well, memories.
It's funny, every time they play the highlights, I just walk out of the room.
I hear you.
Well, no, again, the Mets had a terrific team, great pitching. It's really a scrappy ball club. That was the year of the amazing Mets.
Yep.
And then you go back and you think about it just comes some freak plays. I was telling Don, our producer, I said, I've never thrown a leadoff home run in any of my games ever except to that World Series.
And there's a base hit by Tejada. He's 2 for 2. All right, let's take a look at our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. Name the 5 Hall of Famers that played in the '69 World Series. You?
Well, it's Seaver and Ryan, me, Brooks. That's 4. Frank Robinson, 5.
There you go.
Gonna come up with another one.
5 Hall of Famers. Yep.
Shad Crawford.
Shad Crawford, the umpire.
He didn't get in the Hall of Fame, but he made the call that helped them win. No.
Frank and Brooks. And Jim, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan. All played in that series. Nick Markakis, and he will take the pitch down low.
Well, you need offense, and you're 2-35 when you score less than 3 runs. I mean, the amazing thing is you've done that 37 out of 60 games. You tell you how offense has been difficult for the Orioles over the course of this season. So you're going to have to get the cleats out and the bats going.
R.A. Dickey had retired 8 in a row, gives up the single to Tejada. Markakis takes the knuckleball. That's going to miss. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count. See how that knuckler varies. We've seen it at 78, 79, 73, and anywhere in between.
Well, you wonder with a 4-0 lead, this I don't know if we've seen a fastball. And right now, maybe Rod Barajas is saying, well, you know what, we want to throw a strike.
And he whacked it. And the Orioles get the first 2 on. And let's check in with Amber.
Well, as Jim was just talking about, still yet to see a fastball. I was talking to Ty Wigginton about that before the game. He was comparing Dickey to Tim Wakefield, and he said, of course, the difference in velocity. He said Tim Wakefield throws around the 60s, and on film he has seen Dickey throw up to 80, but he said Dickey will throw in that fastball, and he even said on film he saw him throwing a slider, so he can tend to get hitters off balance a little bit. Well, he said don't be fooled, Wakefield will throw a fastball on very occasionally, but you really do have to be on your toes against Dickey. But with any knuckleballer, he said you just hope it's straight, and that one looked pretty straight, Gary.
Wigginton gets the base hit. Bay will get it in and hold Tejada at third. The Orioles have loaded him up here in the 4th inning with nobody out.
Well, that's what you want to do because, again, you know, the Mets at 8 and 18 on the road. Jerry Manuel, he knows he's very much in this race. There's a knuckleball that stays up, and that's the second time through the order. Doesn't get the ball to dance as much as he would like, and Wiggy goes, hey, that's perfect. I'll just spank it in the left.
So the Orioles get a chance to get right back at it after the 3-run homer by Carter. The single to Tejada, the walk Markakis, the single by Wigginton, and Luke Scott, who grounded out his first time up with the bases loaded, and he will foul it away. Scott playing in his 48th interleague game. He's a .248 hitter in interleague play with 6 home runs and 15 interleague RBIs. And the Orioles with their 3rd hit of the ball game. The other one came in the 1st inning. 2 of them in this inning. 0-1 delivery to Scott, and the knuckler is in there for a strike.
I mean, just imagine you got a big glove, and Rod Barajas, that ball almost got by him. Watch it the last second, he's able to get the glove to it.
You see how he kind of moves the glove backwards. It's like you kind of let the ball come to you like it's coming into a pillow.
Well, you can't frame it like you do normal pitches.
0-2 the count. Scott, did he go? They check. Yes, Lance Barksdale.
Well, Lance got the best angle. And you're going to see from right here, did he go? Yep, he did. He did, unfortunately. You know, he's so strong, he's usually able to stop the bat. That time, I think it got out there, and then he brought it back because of that strength.
Now the bases remain loaded. Adam Jones 0 for 4 with the bases loaded this season. A ground ball out his first time up. Adam with the 5-game hit streak. Big cut. Was that a slider?
Nope, that was just one of those knuckleballs that looks like a slider. I mean, his knuckleball does look like a slider. He did throw a fastball to walk Markakis, first one of the night. And there, look at those numbers. And again, it's probably because he gets more comfortable throwing it. And it's all about the release point.
Inside at that time.
You know what? In articles that I've read about him, he said what Charlie Huff did was take the spin. I mean, think about it. Look at that ball just kind of, again, the aerodynamics. You don't want spin on. It's the only pitch you throw that I know of that doesn't have spin on it. Every other pitch you throw, but you throw it on your fingertips. It's not with the knuckles. And you throw it with a stiff wrist. And that's what Charlie Huff was able to help R.A. do.
And struck him out on 3 pitches. He's got 6 Ks in the game, 2 of them with the bases loaded this inning.
Well, he's doing his Steven Strasburg impression right here. I mean, it all movement and velocity.
His high in strikeouts is 7. Came against Philadelphia in an 8-0 win where he went 7 innings and allowed nothing. He had a no decision against Washington in his first game after being called up. Since then, he's beaten Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Florida. Here's Matt Wieters. And Wieters will pop it up. Oh, my. What a job by R.A. Dickey. The Orioles load him up, 2 strikeouts and a pop-out in the inning. It remains 4-0 Mets. Three and 1 to the Orioles, and a big chance that Dickey denies the Ozone with the bases loaded, nobody out in the 4th.
Well, marvelous job, boy. You get them loaded. I think you're going to get something on the board.
Here's Tejada. Ruben Tejada grounded out his first time up, leading off again as he did in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, he is really young. I mean, last year he played at their AA affiliate, and he was the youngest position player in AA at Binghamton.
Tejada right back to the mound. Guthrie stabs it. 1 away in the 5th. T-shirt Tuesday returns to Oriole Park on June 22. The first 10,000 fans 15 and over at the Marlins game are going to receive a Ty Wigginton Baltimore T-shirt. Add to your Birdland wardrobe and celebrate Ty's great start to the 2010 season. Get your tickets in advance and save 888-848-BIRD-Orioles.com. Reyes a double, a run scored, and he has flied out to center field. Always active in the batter's box, jumps around. He'll slash, he'll bunt, he'll drive it. That one right at Markakis. And a couple of quick outs as Reyes is retired.
Yeah, he's got a little Mickey Rivers when he hits left-handed, you know, dancing around. But again, a very, 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 very productive player.
A very talented baseball player.
Well, yeah, a natural right-handed hitter. He hits better from the right side, but gets so many more at-bats from the left side, and that's his power side, if there is one.
Angel Pagan going to take a while to come up in order to give Dickey time to rest on the bench with 2 quick outs. Pagan's a switch hitter, 250 right-handed, 303 left. 3 of his 4 home runs have been hit left-handed. And he's got 5 triples.
Well,
4 triples, I'm sorry. 3 of them coming from the left side.
Speed in a big ballpark. It started with it actually was with the Cubs first time in the big leagues. And the Mets got him for a couple of minor league players.
Got 3 outside to him and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
But he can do everything in center field. So you have a switch hitter that can run. Not a lot of power, even though he missed a home run by about maybe 4 inches the other night. Hit it almost with one hand right down the right field line in Citi Field.
That's away. And Guthrie will take it to 2-1.
And you better have somebody that can run the ball down in that ballpark. It's big.
That's a lot of room. Pagan with a 2-1 delivery. And he will take that at the knees for a strike. Keep looking at these Mets home and away. Pagan hasn't made much difference. He's 288 at home and 286 on the road. One of the better Mets batting averages away from Citi Field. 2-2 delivery to him. Pagan will take it, and that's strike 3. Guthrie gets his second strikeout. Comes right back and retires the side in order. The Mets have a 4-0 lead. Game is Sunday.
Seemed like 18, but it was only 16. Where do you put them all?
Anywhere you want.
That's right. One in the back seat, one in the trunk.
And if they fall, they'll never hit the ground.
Nope, not with those hands.
Here is Scott Moore against Dickey, the knuckleball pitcher. Moore struck out his first time up. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts in the ball game for the 35-year-old right-hander. 1-1 delivery. That in front of it as the knuckler dips.
Well,
He's only used the knuckleball for 4 years.
Quick
obviously.
learner.
I guess.
Well, it helps to have a guy like Charlie Huff and then have Phil Niekro and Tim Wakefield kind of giving you some knowledge.
That's going to be a base hit into left field. Moore will make the big turn and stop as Bay will get it in. So the Orioles get the leadoff man on here in the 5th inning. Tonight's Maryland Lottery Hit It Here fan of the game is Niazi Alaswadi from Potomac. If an Orioles player hits the Hit It Here sign located in the bullpen area, Alaswadi, you have got a chance to win $100,000. To find out more about how you can become the fan of the game, visit MarylandLottery.com. Hit it here. Here's his Turris and a strike on the inside corner. Torres hitting at 222. Flied out to center his first time up. And that knuckler will be fouled off right there at the plate. 2-strike count. Last 4 starts for Dickey. ERA 3.20. That's what he's got on the season. This is the 5th start he's made.
Well, again, we talked about last year. He got 1 start for the Twins, won it, and then they moved him to the bullpen. 34 games later, he was a free agent, signed with the Mets.
And you can just see the battle. You saw what Moore did was just kind of an easy go with the pitch, just trying to get the bat on the ball. As Torres on that swing, trying to put some thump into it.
Well, it was kind of what Eddie Murray was talking when he was with us earlier in the week. He said, you know, you got to put the 75-85% swing just in general. But tonight, it's kind of like catching it. You got to try to get the good part of the bat to it.
Runner goes. Here's the throw. Barajas a one-hopper. It'll get away. Not far enough to advance. Reyes goes back to get it. Moore gets the stolen base.
So now it's only the 4th time. But again, you're down by 4 runs. You usually don't run, but this you better seize the opportunity. Would have been very close right there. Tejada can drop the glove, but he couldn't.
3 for 3 in stolen bases. Barajas has thrown out just 2 of 20. So that puts a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
And you notice that as Turris, who normally, and we only seen this do this against Wakefield, he's not hitting left-handed. And I am not going to mess up my swing.
You hear so many hitters say that some don't want to play against a knuckleball pitcher in a game, especially when they're hitting well. Here's the 1-2 delivery as Torres kind of punches that one to center, not deep. Pagan coming, second baseman Tejada will get it. Time for Radio Shack's What Do You Know? Well, since interleague play began in '97, National League pitchers and American League pitchers have each had 16 home runs. How about that? Well, the National League pitchers, of course, hit all the time.
Yeah, but how many American League home pitchers have hit part of those 16 home runs? I think that's what I would like to know. Maybe I don't have to know right now. Oh, they each have 16?
Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing.
What do you know?
Well, how do you know? How do you know that?
You can look it up. Baseball Reference.
A lot of hanging sliders. Wait a minute. What's it?
Patterson has struck out twice. Fouls that one off.
Well,
Patterson's gone down swinging both times.
R.A. Dickey's pitching like he's going to a restaurant that's going to close at about maybe 9:45. That's last call.
Now you've done it. You
What?
of all people.
What?
You don't talk about that.
I don't care about it. I'm just talking about him.
Well, I know, but now
Not taking a lot of time.
You're going to lengthen this game. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Right.
I'm going to lengthen the game. I would like to think that it's going to have something to do as we look at another interleague play. There you go.
Pretty even on this season. That includes the game today with the White Sox win over the Cubs. The Orioles with that 1 and
well, the Red Sox are ahead of Phillies 9-0. Lackey against 10-0. They just put another run on there. The mercy rule might come into effect up at Fenway.
Swung on and tipped into the mitt, and that's 3 Ks for Patterson. All swinging. 7 for Dickey.
Look at that ball just dip. Well, you know, they always talk about movement inside the strike zone, and that's certainly what he has it tonight.
So for Dickey, he's equaled his high in strikeouts this season with 7. Tejada's hit him for 2 singles. Miguel Tejada now hitting at .270 and has a 5-game hit streak. Runner at second base is Moore, 2 down. And that will miss inside.
Well,
the hitters have hit Dickey with runners in scoring position. They've gone 6 for 18 coming into the game. Now the Orioles are 0 for 3.
Yeah, I was talking to Dan Warthen, the pitching guy. I said that's the only number that's really unusual. You know, they've gotten him 6 runs a game, a little bit over 6 runs a game, and they're on pace to do that again. But for Miguel, there you go. You know, not horrible numbers. But again, when you get 6 runs, you can maybe give up some runs as long as you don't give up the big inning.
2-0 delivery in the way, and that'll miss inside.
But Miguel, we told him about that great number of what he came in hitting .485 on Fridays. GGAIF. He said, I hit that well on Fridays. I said, well, you hit well every day, but the numbers really support that.
Be wishing every day was Friday.
Yeah.
A strike taken, but who doesn't? And a 3-ball, 1-strike count. And Warthen, there's the Mets pitching coach. Moore getting a good lead off second. Pretty good jump. 3-1 delivery and a towering pop up to shallow center. Tejada again going back. This has been Tejada to Tejada night. And it's the second time they've done that, one each way. It remains a 4-0 Mets lead.
Trays and an extensive dessert station. The All-Star Cafe is also where you'll find Boog's famous barbecue. So next time you go to Oriole Park, head to the club level for the All-Star Cafe. Gary?
Yeah, that looks mighty good. Guthrie ready to go here. David Wright leading it off. Wright delivered an RBI single in the first inning and is flied out. He'll take that 1-1-1.
Yeah, he drove in that first run, and so that got one on there, and then of course Chris Carter with a big changeup with 3-run home run after a walk and a single by Ike Davis. That was a big blow tonight. Boy, changed this game around.
Mets have a history of home runs in interleague play. It's their 243rd home run in interleague games. Is Turris going to get the throw over there in time? Good effort, but not quite. Wright will beat it out and gets a leadoff single.
Well, he can scamper. He can get down there. You know, a typical year, he's going to steal 20 to 30 bases. He's going to usually, until last year, they went to the big ballpark, 30 home runs. But nice play by Cesar, but no chance of throwing him out because of the speed.
So the leadoff bat is on. Guthrie getting 70% of leadoff batters in the season. Reyes got on in the first inning and would score. This is the second leadoff batter to get on in an inning. Davis has singled and scored and struck out. And will take the pitch outside for a ball. Talking about those Mets home runs in interleague play, the second most among National League teams at 243. The Phillies, the only National League team with more interleague homers. 1-0 delivery and misses, and a 2-0 count on Davis.
Right, trying to stay away, and again, very strong. He get it out anyway. And the reason you're trying to stay away, even though they put the shift on because he's a pull hitter, got more around. Misturis way up the middle, right behind Guthrie.
2-0 delivery.
Nice pitch there.
You talk about a hitter. We talk about hitters getting ready and getting into that position, starting to swing. You watch what he does when the pitch is delivered. I mean, he's got a distinct cocking motion of the bat and the hands.
Well, a lot of people, again, if you're hitting well, it's a trigger. If you're struggling, it's a hitch. But watch his hands get into the hitting position. He's going to call a timeout. Of course, his dad was a terrific relief pitcher for the Yankees, eventually with Minnesota. But he actually, when Gossage got hurt one year, he became a dominant closer for him. Big, hard-throwing right-hander.
First time for Davis against the Orioles. 2-1 count. Watch the hands. Trigger ready. And he fouls it away. 2-2.
Again, as you mentioned, he last year never played higher than Double-A ball.
A quick rise to the big leagues.
Well, it was going to be Daniel Murphy, and then he hurt his knee. Then they moved, because of Ike Davis, they moved him to second base, and then he was upset in a double play, so he's out for the year. And Ike Davis, of course, he has a chance to play all season for him.
2-2 will be taken down low.
Yeah, he's lucky he's called. If he was about an inch or two shorter, that would have been strike 3, but just under the knees.
Davis has had his 9 hits in the last 40 at bats coming into the ball game, but he's 1 for 2 here. Runner at first. Guthrie with a 3-2 runner going, and that'll be foul back as Wright.
A really small lead for David Wright. Usually you get a 2.5 step lead, but you don't even have that. Of course, they don't run very much on Jeremy Guthrie. 13 start, they've only attempted 3 steals. He's very quick to the plate. And very cognizant of who's at first and whether they can run or not. A little bit bigger lead now. There he goes.
And swing and a miss. Throw down and strike him out. Throw him out. Double play. As Wieters, who's thrown out 35% of base stealers, got him by the proverbial country mile.
I mean, look at this throw.
Never got to the bat.
Yeah, he might have even gotten his foot down. You got to come get him. You don't see that very often. What a throw by Matt Wieters.
So that's a couple of quick outs here after the single by Wright. Now there are 2 down. 3 strikeouts in the ball game for Guthrie. And Jason Bay has walked and scored and been robbed of a hit on a great catch by Adam Jones earlier in the game. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. Well, the Orioles defense has come to play for Guthrie here with the Jones catch. A great throw by Wieters that could really shorten this inning. Fouled away, 1-2.
Well, when he's healthy, he's going to hit somewhere in the high 20s to 30 home run for Jason Bay, except when you put him in that ballpark. He hit 1 home run in his first 32 games this year?
Yep. He really had to adjust to the ballpark, and looks as though that has finally come around for Bay.
Well, what they like about him, Gary, and I'm sure you heard this too, is that he runs every ball out. He comes and he's really kind of set a tone for him too.
Markakis over near the line and will make the catch. So only 3 batters faced despite a leadoff single, and it remains the Mets 4 and the Orioles nothing.
something, and they're going to have to like it. Boy, he's been awfully good tonight. In fact, he's been terrific.
Orioles, Nick Markakis will lead it off here. Bottom of the 6th inning. He has struck out and drawn a walk. Dickey now with that being the only walk he's surrendered, and he has struck out 7. 3-run homer by Chris Carter, his major league first, and an RBI single by Wright, accounting for the runs for the Mets.
Yeah, look at the Orioles again. Gotten base runners, just haven't been able to get them in.
That one hit hard to center. Angel Pagan. That's going to take a hop and go up and over, and it'll be a ground rule double. The Orioles get a double to start the 6th for Markakis.
Well, this ball is driven to center field. And this ball is smacked. Pagan again with very good speed, can't get to it. Off the rubberized warning track for a ground rule double. You got to get into the bullpen at some point. Make Jerry Manuel think that he's got to make a pitching change.
Ty Wigginton now. The Orioles had the leadoff man on in the 5th inning and the 4th, and could not convert, and had the bases loaded with nobody out in the 4th inning, and did not get a run. Ty Wigginton now with a 4-game hit streak, 1 for 2, a single, and he is grounded out in the ball game. He's picked up 5 hits in his last 13 at bats. 1 for 8 for the Orioles with runners in scoring position so far in this game. And as we mentioned, that's where Dickey had been vulnerable as far as hitters against him. That will be fouled off, and Wigginton a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Well, the last couple of nights, I mean, the Orioles only winning last night, they have been hitting better. Got most of the runs. Have been 2 out base hits.
They went 9 for 13 with runners in scoring position.
What, the last 2 nights?
Yeah, the Yankees, they put some pretty good numbers up. Here's the 1-2 delivery right off the mask. I think Barajas gets a night off after he catches Dickey. All around,
maybe a little jumpy.
Rugged night. Markakis will be alert, of course, on the base pass here. You've got to be. You never know when the ball is going to get away or a wild pitch delivered. 1-2 delivery. What's amazing is Dickey does not have a wild pitch this year. You'd think.
Well, yeah, but
once in a while.
Yeah, wouldn't you think, though, most of them are going to be pass balls only because they're going to blame the catcher?
Yep.
How can you not catch a pitch at 74 miles per hour? It's your fault.
Watch this. 1-ball 2-strike count on Wigginton. Ty hitting over the 280 mark now. Roller will hold the runner. Dickey looks. Throws one a little high, but Davis hauls it in. Wigginton retired. Visit Orioles.com right now for your chance to win the Matt Wieters Bobblehead Night VIP experience. One lucky winner is going to get 4 VIP seats, VIP parking for Wednesday, June 30, the A's game, and you could win 4 passes to watch batting practice from the field. Don't miss your chance to experience Oriole Park in a whole new way. Enter today at Orioles.com. While I think of it, Frank Cashin. Frank, I know you're upstairs in a booth somewhere. I couldn't find you before the game. Frank's here. Orioles front office, Mets front office, made the trip up. See the ball game. Great to have Frank on hand.
Boy, he had a lot to do with both of the success of both of these franchises, and he was my second general manager.
Second GM?
Well, Lee McPhail, Andy's dad, who was in the Hall of Fame, was the general manager when I signed.
What a great, wonderful man. And you can blame Frank for me being in this business. All of you would rather I wasn't. Frank hired me out of nowhere with the Mets. Scott 0 for 2 in the ball game. Swung on and missed, and an 0-2 count. He is struck out and grounded out.
He was my doubles partner during spring training all the time, and I used to play left-handed, so it wouldn't hurt my elbow. And of course, anytime it went overhead, I would switch rackets, and he'd be yelling, "No, no, 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 no!" And we were undefeated because we always were smart enough to pick the people we could beat.
Always cheated?
No, we didn't cheat.
Oh, sorry.
We just picked people that we could beat.
And the pitch up high. Frank was my library in New York because at the time the team was owned by Doubleday Publishing. So Frank got virtually every book published in his office. It was wonderful. It was like a library. You just go in, borrow books, take them on road trips.
Hooked me up at the U.S. Open for the Doubleday box. For the
that one right back to the mound. Again snagged. 2 down.
Well, you know, when I look at R.A. Dickey, and he's 35, he's been in baseball. This will be his 14th year. You know, again, he was supposed to get the big bonus. He found out he didn't have the ligament in his elbow. They cut his bonus back by almost, $700 and some thousand. I don't care. He's been in the minor leagues in 12 of the 13 years now, the 14th year that he's been in baseball. And he's figured out a way to get it done. And it's pretty much what it's all about if you want to play. I mean, you know, he's lived his dream. There is Frank Cashin.
2 down.
Jim Duquette.
That one's going to go all the way to the backstop. Takes a hop, throw to third, and not in time. Barajas turned around, and that hit the brick and came right back to him, but it'll be Markakis moving up.
Yep, another pass ball, not a wild pitch because it was about thigh high, and then the snap throw. Heads up base running, as you said, by Nick Markakis. Just never ever know.
There are 2 down.
And that's big because now maybe an infield hit anything to get on the board.
How about another pass ball?
Well, that's what we're really hoping.
1-0 delivery. Popped him up. That'll be back in the seats. And Frank, we found you. There's Frank. Frank Cashin on hand to watch the ball game tonight. It's just so great to see him here.
He used to always wear the bow tie.
Yep, had a bow tie on.
So when he started giving out the big contracts, I got him on a $100 bill bow tie. I mean, it wasn't a real $100 bill.
Great seeing you, fella. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Runner at third. Outside Barajas, a nice stop on that one.
Was. Well, it's not comfortable. I mean, we saw Chad Moeller a little bit different because you had A.J. Burnett, but he was all over the place, and Moeller is like a hockey goalie. Same thing tonight. Keep the ball in front of you.
2-1 count. Well, prior to this season, we're talking about Dickey and the comeback he's made. He had, at the major league level, only appeared on 144 games. Remember, he's 35 years old. Pitched almost 300 ball games in the minor leagues. And in the majors have been with Texas and Seattle and Minnesota. And his career had almost entirely been at the minor league level. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Adam Jones will foul that one away.
I mean, that pitch almost looks, I mean, that's 76, 78 miles per hour, but it almost looks like a fastball. Right? The one fastball he's thrown tonight was 84, but again, he's quick to the plate. In other words, you know, like Wakefield's a little bit slower with his windup. He kind of explodes like you're throwing a fastball. And then the ball gets up there fast.
It does. 2-2 delivery. Jones again fights it off. Adam battling here to try and get a run in.
Now watch the way he keeps the wrist. There's not a lot of rotation because you don't want the ball to rotate. I mean, it really comes out and it's just stiff. And again, it's thrown with the fingertips. You know, you think knuckleball.
Markakis doubled. Has moved over on the pass ball. 2 down and a 2-2 count on Jones. And struck him out. So the Orioles, yet another inning where Dickey with the leadoff man getting on prevents them from coming aboard. Frank Cashin, special guest. first. Jeremy Guthrie, a walk and 3 strikeouts, our 4th drive of the game.
Yeah, walk, single, and then this. A changeup that he goes down and gets. And, I mean, he drilled it to right center field.
Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one.
Out of Stanford University, Dave Joust, who's now the bench coach, last year the Orioles bench coach, was saying, smart guy, and he can hit. Bonus.
1 for 2 in the ball game. Guthrie gets him on a little foul tip at the plate on a 1-ball, 2-strike count. They don't think the ball was thrown back on the field, so he, at least at this moment, hasn't got his first home run baseball. 1-ball, 2-strike count. Carter will take it inside. Goes to 2-2. Only 28 at bats. So his career home run ratio is really, really good.
Oh, he'll turn 28. He looks like a National League type of guy that, over the course of his minor league career, getting over 300. Occasional power. Guy that can be a good bench player.
And ready, willing, and able to be that sort of player, which really matters.
Especially when you're interleague play.
3-2 delivery to him, and he swoops that one foul.
Well, you can just understand. Again, his minor league numbers are good enough where he was over 300. I mean, he did hit a lot of home runs. He hit 24, 19, 18, 21. So all along, he's been able to center the ball. Even there. I mean, that's a slider. It's down and in. Hard to hit fair, but he hit it hard.
He's been a good pinch hitter this season. Going 4 for 15, 3 RBIs. 3-2 delivery and a fastball. Got him. 4 strikeouts for Guthrie. 1 away in the 7th inning.
Oh, Jeremy's just saying, you know what? I got to hang around long enough to hope that we get some offense. And, again, that's only the 87th pitch of the night. So he's got a chance to at least pitch this inning and another one if he can maintain a reasonable pitch count.
Jeremy at home this year, 2-3 with a 3.55 ERA. Here's Barajas, and he'll take that slider on the outside corner. Lifetime, Jeremy has won 13 and lost 23 here at Camden Yards. Looking to get his first win against the Mets, and this the second time he has faced them. Barajas stayed away, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Barajas has popped out and flied out.
Yeah, he doesn't walk a whole lot. I mean, he is up there to hack. Doesn't strike out a lot. I mean, he took a good slider last night, and just like that, he had a little bit better swing tonight, but just singled into right field. But primarily a guy that if you make a mistake, he's going to try to hit a home run, and he can do that.
He comes in hitting the ball. He's had 8 home runs, 19 runs scored, and 22 batted in over the last 30 games, hitting .302. 1-ball, 2-strike count. Barajas.
See, right there, I mean, that ball's about 6 inches inside. Didn't matter.
Just foul it off.
And it's a good fastball at 94.
He leads all major league catchers starting the day's play in home runs and is tied for the lead in RBIs. He is obviously an offensive-oriented catcher. 1-2 delivery on the way, and he loops that one off the end of the bat into center field. That bat was just long enough for Barajas to get a base hit.
Well, that was what I was talking about. I mean, an RBI hit on the same type of pitch, except he hit it to right field last night. So again, he cuts his swing down. I mean, this is part of hitting in that ballpark, City Field, or any park, because what do? If you swing hard, you probably miss that pitch, because it was a good slider. It wasn't hanging in one little bit, and then what it does, it allows to bring a home run hitter, a guy with power, to the plate.
Jeff Francoeur has grounded out and flied out. He too comes into this series as one of the hottest Met hitters. He's hit safely in 12 of the last 13 at a .444 clip. 1-0 count. 6 home runs on the year for him. Guthrie gets the high strike called, and he's got 34 RBIs. 1 ball, 1 strike on Francoeur.
Well, they got him late last season, and he hit over 300 for him.
Mets have 6 hits. The Orioles have 5. Catches the outside corner as he goes down low with it. And Guthrie gets ahead on the count here, 1-2.
Well, that's probably a pitch he would have waved at 3 years ago and put it in play, a pitcher's pitch. Trying to be a little bit more disciplined until he gets to 2 strikes as it is now.
1-2. Frank Gore, it seems like he's been around forever, but he's only 26 years old. He had been with the Atlanta Braves from the 05 season on until last year when he finished up the final 75 games with the Mets. Very respectable 271 major league average. 1-2 delivery and fists that one back.
Well, he had a little Adam Jones in him in a sense that he had some success early, almost 30 home runs, in the high 20s, and then started swinging at the thrown ball. And that just doesn't work. You want to get enough strikes to hit, and of course pitchers want to throw you enough strikes to get you to swing at balls, and if you fall into that trap, tough to hit.
1-2 delivered. So Frank Gore has seen interleague play from both sides, and he's a .234 career interleague hitter with 4 homers. Brad Bergeson in the bullpen. Juan Samuel was talking about the need to get Berge into the ball game. He was going to be his first up. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Frank Gore right through the wickets, a base hit. So 2 up the middle, 1 just barely hit. Barajas, the other one, right through the legs by Frank Gore.
Well, again, you're getting great pitching tonight, but again, both of these cases, sliders, 2 strikes, and great hitting approaches. Neither of them hit real hard, but again, nobody plays up the middle. I mean, you try to defend your position. Guthrie's usually a pretty good fielder, couldn't get the glove down. But those were 2 quality at bats. I mean, he did everything he did to get him out, and they hit 2 pretty good pitches. And now the pitch count closing in on 100, and that's why Bergeson's up.
Now Ruben Tejada. Tejada has grounded out twice. For Tejada, this is the first road game that he has played for the Mets. It's only his 8th ball game. Well, the games have been played at Citi Field before tonight. And that will miss inside. 2 on, 1 down.
Yeah, you would have thought that Alex Cora, with his experience of playing against Guthrie, but then you start looking at the numbers, 3 for 15. You figure that's why he's not in here. Left-handed hitter who's always hit the Orioles well.
Jerry Manuel apparently looked at that number.
Yes, he did.
That'll be up high. 4-0 lead. The Mets on top. We're in the 7th inning. Here's Cora, who will play at some point here in this interleague series. Granitz will go to the mound to talk to Guthrie. This summer, your kids can learn how to play like the pros from the pros. It's the Orioles Summer Baseball Camp. Ages 7 to 16, 5 days of training. Appearances by current and former O's. Free membership in the Junior Orioles Dugout Club. And a chance to play here in this ballpark. Adam Jones will be appearing at the summer's first camp in Westminster, June 21 through the 25th. For additional dates, locations, details, 410-472-3500 or go to Orioles.com. He may be there. 2-0 count on Tejada. 2 on, 1 out. And 3-0 to the number 9 hitter.
And what happens when you get into 100 pitches, even if you pitched in my era where you throw 120, 30, 40, 50, whatever, 60, 70, you have to slow everything down. I'm sure Rick Fennis just said, hey, stay over the pitching rubber a little bit more. Get your arm in front of you so you can get down into the zone.
3-0 delivery, Todd, and taken. It is in there for a strike. You have Reyes, the leadoff batter, waiting on deck. Infield, of course, looking for the ground ball here to try and double it up. Barajas off second, Francoeur off first.
So how about Tejada last night in a game they win 3-0 when these pitches one hitter hits into a triple play.
And he'll take that, and that's going to be a strike, so he'll go back and get his bat.
Oops. Well, that ball, the first one that's been called this high, and those umpires don't like this. I mean, that ball definitely out of the strike zone. He said, I'm going down. I've had a quality at bat. I'm going to take my walk. Strike zone, I guess, at the letters.
Triple play hit into was the 10th in Mets history.
5-4-3. As pretty as she could be.
Right around the horn.
Yeah, really.
3-2 delivery, and got him, and that's because of the pitch before. So Tejada, strikeout victim. That's 5 for Guthrie.
Well, you be the judge or the umpire. Yep, got the corner.
Good pitch.
It's a lot better pitch than the one that should have walked him.
So now 2 down, and that will bring Reyes to the plate. The leadoff batter doubled and scored and has flied out twice. Reyes 262 with runners in scoring position. And he's got one out there and one at first. He'll take the pitch for a strike. Reyes, another one of the Mets. 331 at home, 178 on the road. 0-1 count.
Yeah, you would think that would average out, because that's an aberration. Because again, it's a pitcher's park there.
But 0-1 fooled him.
But the key, Gary, as you know, is, and we talked about it earlier, is just to get that 5.18 ERA down, and they've done that tonight. Then you don't have to score. I mean, if you're going to give up over 5 runs a game, it's tough to score 6.5 runs when you have your star center fielder on the disabled list at extended spring.
Here's the 0-2 delivery. Reyes will take it inside.
Oh, could have called him out on that pitch. I mean, that's a strike.
That one was on the color. And Reyes,
happy birthday. It's his birthday, 27th birthday. He just got a birthday present.
1-2 count. Runners off first and second. And Reyes will foul it back and over the screen. No play. Well, a battle here in the 7th inning. And obviously, potentially big run out there at second. Another runner on at first. The Orioles have stranded 6 in this ball game, and over the last 3 innings, 5 of the 6 bases loaded, nobody out in the 4th. They did not score. Leadoff man on in both the 5th and 6th innings, and they did not score. 1-2 delivery to Reyes, and he watches that one, leaning out. Alajita from the other side.
Well, if you're Howard Johnson and you're the hitting instructor for the Mets, you got to be happy. And you've got to be happy with the whole night, but you got to be really happy the way they have worked the count and hit some really good pitches in this inning. Jeremy Guthrie's made.
2-2 delivery to him. Reyes swings at one to short as Torres will go to first and get the out. Couple left on base. Mets still leading it. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly.
This year, they've had opportunity after opportunity tonight and just haven't been able to cash in. And to his credit, he struck out 8. He's only walked 1, and he's forced them to get hits, and he just hasn't been able to do that tonight to this point.
And that's a major league high, by the way, for his career. The 8 strikeouts. He had 7 in the game earlier. He had 7 in a previous season, but he's never had 8 until tonight. And he's got the 8 Ks up on the board. So Dickey will go to work here as Matt Wieters will stand in. Matt has had an 0 for 2. He has flied out and popped out in the ball game. Wieters 224 in interleague play with a couple of home runs in his young career so far.
And you got to keep that in mind. I mean, he's made such a dramatic change defensively. Jeff Datz has done a great job with him.
That one towards the middle, and it's a base hit.
So the hits are just,
the leadoff man is on.
The hits are just going to come. And the last inning, Dan Moore, the pitching coach, he went over to the phone and opened it up to make sure that he knew what the number was, because we're getting to that time of the game, 4-0 lead. Pitch count now at 92. So again, he wants to make sure that if the Orioles do, and right here, I think maybe more than moving the defense where they want to play.
They will, with a left-handed hitter up, Davis will not hold the bag. He will stay close to Wieters. Not going to give the base, but going to protect the line. Moore up. He has singled, stolen a base, and struck out. A 4-0 lead for the Mets. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Orioles attempt to make a comeback here. Wieters at first extends the lead a bit, and the strike taken on the outside corner from Dickey.
There's your second fastball of the game. And it was well located, 83 miles per hour outside corner.
That's how good his knuckleball has been tonight, because he throws more fastballs for a knuckleball pitcher than probably any knuckleballer ever. But tonight has not been one of those nights.
No. Even though one of the highlights of my career is watching Tim Wakefield, who I have so much respect for, strike out the side in Boston on 377 mile per hour fastballs on a Sunday afternoon about 4 years ago.
1-2 delivery up high.
He looked like Nolan Ryan, because when you compare 77 to about, what, 67? A lot of extra gas on that.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Moore will nub that one. It's fair. Dickey falling, gets the out, and a nice play at first by Davis, who used his height on that one.
Yeah, he's 6'4". I asked him, you play other sports? He said, well, back in the day I was a basketball player. But a very, very nice play. I mean, once the ball gets in play, you better field your position. You get to it, snap throw, good angle. As you can see, Scott Moore trying to beat it out. And he recognizes right there it's going to be fair. So he's scampering down the line. And the good thing is they have that last 45 feet. You have to stay in. You can't be in the field of play. You have to be in that 45-foot line. So you have an angle if you're a pitcher. And if you hit him, the batter's out. At least supposedly it's supposed to be out.
Now, as Turris has flied out and popped out, runner at second base went away. And as Turris watches that one float by for a ball. Whereas Turris this year, the RBI opportunities, he's 242 with runners in scoring position. And will take the pitch for a strike inside, down at the knees. 1-1.
I have the O's, I think, at least on my scorecard, which doesn't mean it's accurate, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight.
That'll be grounded towards short, holding the runner. Reyes backhands, guns him.
What an arm. And he short arms it. I was listening to the afternoon game yesterday before we came to the ballpark, and Keith Hernandez and Gary Cohn were talking about the fact that a lot of the great shortstops, whether it was Aparicio and of course Hernandez played with Ozzie Smith, they just have a sense of knowing how quickly they need to get the ball over there.
Know who the runner is, one of the first rules of playing in the infield. 2 down, runner on at second base still. Wieters. Here's Patterson, who has struck out 3 times in the ball game. 3 of the 8 strikeouts on the board for R.A. Dickey. And Patterson up the middle. He's got a base hit. Pagan charging. They'll hold Wieters. Thrown into the cutoff man. Good cutoff by Davis. So Patterson gets the base hit. Puts runners on at first and third now with 2 away for Tejada. That one right up the middle. That will bring right in. And a visit to the mound. We were talking about Nolan Ryan, Feliciano. The hair warming up. On the bottom first, 1990. Nolan Ryan was 43 years old on this date when he became the oldest pitcher to throw a no-hitter. It was his 6th. And in 1938, the Reds' Johnny Vandermeer would pitch the first of 2 consecutive no-hitters in his career.
Now, wasn't one of them the first night game ever?
Yes.
I believe. I'm not sure if it was the first or the second.
Second, I believe.
Second one?
Yep.
And then Ryan pitched 7, so he must have pitched another one when he was after 43. I saw one of them in Anaheim.
And broke his own mark for age. Well, Tejada gets the chance now with 2 down. The runners on at first and third. Tejada's tonight been the one to catch up to this knuckleball. He's had 2 singles, 2 for 3 in the ball game. Orioles chance again to get back in it. Tejada 241 with runners in scoring position. Sees the knuckler. It will miss for a ball. One of these innings, the Orioles have got to find that big hit. This is the 4th inning in a row where they've had at least 1 runner in scoring position and have been able to get the leadoff man on base in all 4. Foul tipped into the net and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. One thing when you're pitching with a knuckler, if you're R.A. Dickey, you don't have to worry about pitch selection very much when it's working, as it is tonight. Pretty much know what you're going to throw.
Well, now you're getting the time of the game early on when nobody on, and if you got behind and didn't want to walk anybody, it's fastball. But here, all of a sudden, this is where fatigue comes in. So while maybe, and again, you just have to remember whether you're pitching conventionally or a knuckleball, it's about your release point. That's what he worked with when he started working with Charlie Huff. How to release the ball so you get a little bit tired, it changes a little bit.
104 pitches. That's his high in the year. And now he's got a new high of 105.
Well, the amazing thing about it tonight, it's hard, but it seems like it'll go in different directions. I don't know if he's trying to do that. I mean, some are going up, some are going down, some are going sideways. Not too many have stayed on the same plane, which makes it very difficult to hit it.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 on. Started the inning with a Wieters single. He's at third. Patterson a single with 2 down. He's at first. And the step off throw. They had him going. Whoa. That never works, but it almost did there. He looked to third and threw to first. Patterson was running and just gets back.
Yeah, only Corey Patterson's quickness allows him to get back. Again, he had some leg problems early on. Mon Samuel looks on, a very adept base runner when he played.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Tejada will foul it away. So now all of those who ask, why do pitchers do that? Well, he know why.
Did it really well.
In a beautiful situation to do it. You had a pretty good chance the runner was going to be going. And he did it quickly. Tejada fighting it off here. It remains at 2-2. Mets have the 4-0 lead that they've had since the 4th inning. Patterson goes. Ball gets away. Runner coming to the plate. Here's the throw. It's behind him. Over to third base goes Patterson. And the Orioles get on the board as Wieters scores. And all the way over to third base goes Patterson.
Well, this may be his first wild pitch of the year, because that ball almost bounces. So here comes Matt Wieters, snap throw. It gets by him. Patterson already at second. You can see him right here in your frame, and the minute the ball gets by R.A. Dickey at home plate, he's going to go to third base, which sets up another wild pitch.
And it is his first wild pitch of the year. Now Patterson at third and a 3-ball, 2-strike count on Tejada. Well, the Orioles make it 4-1. Each team's got 7 hits in the game. Here's the 3-2, and Tejada will take it in the air, right center field. Francoeur, nope, second baseman Tejada will put it away. Tejada hits it. Tejada's got to catch it. That's the way it's been tonight. Mets on, though, with a 4-1 lead.
he struggled, it was pretty much about balls up in the strike zone. 91, 87 miles per hour when you're in the middle of the plate doesn't work for him. So again, at some point he's going to get another opportunity probably to start, and part of it is to, when you do come in, pitch well. Certainly capable of doing that.
Angel Pagan will lead it off against him, shows bunt and drops it foul. The number 2 hitter has had an 0 for 3 in the ball game. For Brad Bergeson in the minor leagues, Bergeson had 82 starts and 93 appearances. Those are the only relief appearances for Bergeson. Gary Allison lining up the defense here. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That's towards left, and that's going to be a base hit. So Pagan is on with a single to start the 8th inning, his first hit of the ball game. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates tonight. R.A. Dickey, the starter, who's pitched so well for the Mets. For Carter, the big home run, 3 RBIs, his first major league homer. And for Miguel Tejada, a 2 for 4 ball game, couple of singles. Text in your vote now, A, B, or C, to 51862. Mets with 8 hits in the game. Wright with 2 of them. And an RBI, is 2 for 3. The throw over to get him back.
Yeah, I think Brad very aware that, again, Angel Pagan can steal bases 12 out of 15. Very quick to the plate. Very difficult to run on. But again, that base hit was a ball up in the zone. He just can't be there.
Wright will take it down the line. It'll be a foul ball. David Wright against the Orioles, a 240 hitter. Interleague plays, had 1 home run lifetime here in this ballpark. With the 2 hits he's added tonight, he's 4 for 17 at Camden Yards.
Well, good low ball hitter. You would think most of your power guys really like, not that he can't hit the ball up and away. But again, he's a guy that could go to right center, left center. At that new ballpark, 10 home runs last year versus usually in the 30 range.
0-1. Pagan's going. Hit in the air, right center field. That's going to be a gapper. Hits off the bottom of the fence. Pagan will score easily. And Wright, a 3-hit game and 2 RBIs. And it is 5-1 Mets.
So 2 balls up, 2 bad results. You can see him move in. I mean, again, we talked about a low ball hitter, and he just golfs it to right center field. In the middle of the plate. And Pagan with great speed scores easily.
Well, David Wright having a big ball game. 15 two-baggers, 42 RBIs on the year.
Well, even with a home run total down last year, Gary, he hit 39 doubles.
Here's Ike Davis. And that is a strike. Our Chili's game flow. Chili's, it's all in the preparation. This has been about the pitcher, R.A. Dickey, who's dominated the ball game. 1 run, 7 hits for the Orioles. Chopper towards second base, played by Moore. Davis is retired. It will move Wright, though, over to third base.
Well, this is the perfect combination if you're trying to change the way you've been playing. If you're the Mets on the road, going from 8 to 18, as Matt Albers would get loose. You score early. Your starting pitcher has lockout innings. Then you come up with a big 3-run 4th inning. So now you've got a comfortable lead. He's able to pitch out of trouble in both the 4th and the 5th. And now you're adding some runs. And that was a great bat by a young hitter with Ike Davis. Get the runner to third. You got to bring your guys in, trying to add more runs.
Mets have averaged 4.1 runs on the road, 4.6 at home this year. Infield drawn in, 1 down. Jason Bay with a 2-strike count. New York ranking 26th in the majors in their road batting average at 273. 0-2 delivery on the way. Bay, a chopper, runner coming, play at the plate as Torres comes. Wieters is there and gets the out. Davis going on contact, had no chance.
Yeah, really good pitch by Brad Bergeson. Slider to a good fastball. Hitter gets him to reach. That's the ground ball. I mean, look out there, way out, trying to hook it. And there is Cesar Turris to make the play, and then throw gets there so quickly. David Wright doesn't even get to the plate.
So there are now 2 down and a runner at first base, Bay. Here's Carter, the big blow, 4th inning, first major league home run. 3 RBIs for him, designated hitter role. And they throw over to get Jason Bay back to the bag. Bay has stolen 8 bases and has not been caught.
And look at Chris Carter. He's pretty much on the plate. And that changeup that he hit wasn't a horrible pitch. He just has good arm span to go down and get it.
Inside corner for a strike from Brad Bergeson. No Bergeson. Out of the starters role. 3-4, 6.75 ERA in 10 starts. And now working out of the pen for the first time. Greeted with a single by Pagan and an RBI double by Wright. Here's the 0-1 delivery to Carter, and that hit him on the foot. So he'll head down. Runners at first and second for the Mets.
Yeah, this has got to hurt. H.H. Gregg, Expo, slider, back foot, right on the top.
And down he went. You could see the foot move when the ball hit it. Ugh.
Oh, right on the instep. And then he gets up. He's kind of looking back for the trainer, and he figures, well, I better get down there. And now finally they come out to see him. Of course, when you hit your first major league home run and it's a 3-run home run, while we know that hurts, doesn't hurt quite as much.
Razor shines, first base coach talking to him. There's no reason to say the first base coach's name except I like to say it.
Oh, it's a great name.
Razor shines, former ML player. Here's Rob Barajas. He has singled 1 for 3 in the ball game. Runners on at first and second. There are 2 down. And he gets Barajas to go after it. He got his hit his last time up on a little bouncer up the middle that ended up in center field.
Of course, on the front page of the Sun paper today, they have as sharp as a razor because they had the shaving cream pie face to Jake Arrieta.
Back to third and caught by Tejada. Barajas is retired. A run in and a couple of hits. 2 are left on, and the Mets add to their lead.
No.
You're not trying to get through a game.
You don't have to. Yeah, you're certainly not pacing yourself. You just need 3 outs.
Yep, Pedro Feliciano, so the knuckleballer is gone. Dickey, a run, 7 hits, 7 innings, 1 walk, career high 8 strikeouts. Nick Markakis will lead it off against the left-hander Feliciano. And you would think no matter what he throws, it's going to look like it's going 150 miles an hour. Chopper towards the middle, and that should be an infield hit, and it is. Tejada lost control, but he had no play, so Markakis is on again. He's 2 for 3, and 3 out of the 4 plate appearances has been on.
Well, he comes in hitting .360 against lefties, and that was the best in the American League. I assume it still is. So, you match up. It's the right move, except that with Nick Markakis, he doesn't make it the right move.
Well, the Orioles get a chance now with Dickey out of there. Feliciano will face Ty Wigginton, 233 off lefties.
So you go from what? Lefties only hitting .214 to righties hitting .318. So it's a 104-point difference. Feliciano against lefties righty.
The off-speed pitch is going to miss outside for a ball. Feliciano worked last outing yesterday, 3rd of an inning, and had 1 strikeout. 1-0 count. And Wigginton on a swing and a miss, 1-1.
Awfully good changeup right there. It just fades away.
Feliciano is a workhorse, 36 outings. That's the most in the majors.
And what's he have in common with Tom Seaver?
A lot of games pitched.
Yeah, he's the all-time leader. Tom right behind him.
1-1 delivery on the way. Ground ball towards second base. Played by Tejada. 1. Reyes Thurilla. Two down in the 8th.
Well, it really doesn't tell you what the average is. You make a quality pitch, you get the ball down, which he does, and then your defense turns to DP. 2 quick outs. That has been what the night's been about.
Luke Scott coming up with 2 down, nobody on. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Orioles DH 200 off lefties, 302 off right-handers. 5-1 Mets on top. First game of the 3 in this interleague matchup. Feliciano lines 1 to the outside. Brian Mattis. Hisadari Takahashi will pitch in the game tomorrow. Takahashi's 4-2, Mattis 2-6. And on Sunday afternoon, Kevin Millwood draws Mike Pelfrey. Pelfrey's 8-1 with a 2.23. Millwood 0-7 with a 4.64. Tried it again. This time Scott stays away in a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And Pelfrey is 8-1, getting 2.83 runs per game. That tells you how well he's pitched.
He's their ace.
Yeah, he's added a split finger fastball, and it's made a world of difference.
1-ball, 1-strike count on Scott. Bases empty and 2 down. And again, Feliciano working away. And the count will go to 2-1. Interleague play all around baseball for the weekend. 2 Florida teams playing, 2 Chicago teams playing. Mets coming here to Baltimore in traditional rivalries included among the matchups. West Coast teams, Angels, Dodgers get to go. Oakland, San Francisco later tonight. 3-ball, 1-strike count on Scott. On a fastball, 3-2.
Yeah, the Indians ahead of the Nationals, and if they win, they will have won 3 in a row. In fact, I think it's Washburn pitching, or Westbrook, excuse me, tonight. So he was mentioned in maybe some of the Mets would be interested before the trade deadline. Jake Westbrook, who beat the Orioles a couple of weeks ago, and Indians were in here.
Mets are only 2.5 games behind in the division that was supposed to be a little better, but the Phillies have really struggled. They were supposed to run away with that. That one in the air to left center field into the gap. Jason Bay not going to get it. It'll take a hop up and over. And Luke Scott will go into second base with a ground rule double. And a 4-game hit streak.
Well, it's funny when he hit the the double that turned into a triple last night, A.J. Burnett said, well, he must be pretty strong. Well, I guess. If you've seen Luke Scott, he bludgeons the ball. And he just drops the bat on it. There's nobody stronger in the Oriole lineup.
So the Orioles get another chance with a runner in scoring position. Orioles 7 left on base in the ball game. They've had the leadoff man on in each of the last 5. And have scored just 1 run. That came in the 7th inning on a wild pitch.
Well, Jerry Manuel's saying, wait a minute, I brought in Feliciano to get the lefties out. Both of them have singled and doubled, and you get the double play against the righty, Wigington, that he doesn't usually do as well. The right-handed batter, yeah, isn't it?
1-0 delivery outside.
Well, the Orioles, what they want is maybe a pitch around right here, where you don't try to pitch around him, but you think, I don't want to, I'm behind him 2-0, need to make a good pitch, and then all of a sudden you end up walking him and you get an extra base runner, which is exactly what the O's need.
Jones a little better against righties, 253, 246 off left-handers. 2-0 count on him. Feliciano a look to Scott. And that's going to be a base hit into right field. Francoeur up. Allison will hold Scott. And the Orioles 3 hits in the inning. Have the corners covered with 2 down.
Well, you know, when Adam Jones and Mark Worthen's going to come out and have another conversation, but when he starts hitting the ball like he did last night, doubled up the gap, I mean, that's about as hard as you could hit a ball to right field. And he's on the ball, not pulling off, having the quality at bats.
Orioles 10 hits out hitting the Mets 10-9. Vote for your favorite O's for the 210 All-Star Game at Orioles.com. You could win the Vote Orioles VIP Experience All-Star Sweepstakes. One lucky winner will receive 4 tickets to an upcoming game, VIP parking, on-field access to watch batting practice, a private meet and greet with the O's All-Stars, and a personalized All-Star Game batting practice jersey. Visit Orioles.com/All-Star for complete details. So another big at-bat. The Orioles have had lots of them here in the last 5 innings. Runners on at first and third. Single by Markakis to start the inning. Wiped out in the double play. 2 down. Outside by Feliciano. Leaders 224 off lefties, 248 off right-handers. Switch hitting catcher. He singled in the 7th inning and came around to score in the wild pitch. One-0 delivery. Feliciano outside, way outside with it, and the count goes to 2-0.
Yeah, you really have to get a good pitch to hit here if you're going to be swinging. And again, down by 4 runs. It cannot be a pitcher's pitch. Hitter's pitch. Do something with it if you can.
Scott the lead runner. Jones at first. Outfield deep straight away for the Mets. 2-1. Orioles 9-13 against the Mets historically, and then the 1-4 in the '69 World Series. Juan Samuel hoping his ball club can come away with a couple of wins in a row here after they beat the Yankees 4-3. Feliciano's 2-1 delivery, and that'll be outside. Moore waiting on deck. Pedro Feliciano's gone 3-1 on Wieters. And that'll be a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, Elmer descends the right-hander because we saw it right behind Juan Samuel, the Orioles interim manager. Garrett Atkins getting loose.
Ball game in the 8th. Feliciano 3-2 down. Jones will be running at first. And the delivery, and Wieters will foul it away again. Mets bullpen is 12th in the majors with a 3.77 ERA in the majors. 13th with a 2.49 batting average against it. We continue to see a lot of numbers, not in terms of the league, but in terms of the majors. That's been a change this year, and I don't think something that's happened accidentally. 3-2 the count. That one is ripped. It is way back left field and just missed. Feliciano will breathe again, and Wieters will come back.
Yeah, just hooking. That was like a field goal. It's just wide.
We've seen a couple of those in this homestand that have gone right to that exact same spot.
Well, it was a changeup, and he just got out in front of it a little bit. And again, I mean, if you're Pedro Feliciano, you don't want to walk him because, again, you get the tying run to the plate. So you want to make a pitch, you want to throw a strike, and you hope that the speed of the changeup fools him, and it didn't. He missed a home run by about 3 or 4 inches.
Wieters has 4 homers, only 1 hit so far here at Camden Yards on the season. Well, they'll come back and do it again. 3-2, 2 down. Jones again at first will be running. Scott off third. And off-speed pitch got him. No runs, 3 hits, 2 are left on. It remains a 5-1 Mets lead. Core, Tejada, and Reyes at the top of the order for the Mets. To center field, Jones. Core is retired. He's 1 for 4 in the ball game. 1 away, top of the 9th inning. Hope you'll join us again tomorrow. Second game of this series. Brian Mattis on the mound. Hisanori Takahashi will go against him. Our coverage on MASN HD begins at 6:30 with O's Expert presented by your local Ford dealer, followed by game coverage at 7 on MASN HD and WJZ. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Yeah, a couple of lefties. The Mets, their best numbers are against left-handers, so it'll be a nice challenge for Brian Mattis, who feels like he's getting closer to getting back into that early season groove that he had.
Here's Tejada. In the bullpen, Mark Hendrickson. Tejada has grounded out to Tejada in his first at bat, part of the 0 for 3. It's amazing. Miguel Tejada makes the out. Ruben Tejada's popped out. Has received the pop-outs of Miguel Tejada twice in the game. So Ruben Tejada grounds out to Miguel Tejada twice. Miguel Tejada pops out to Ruben Tejada twice.
It's a lot of Tejadas.
It's a family affair. Francisco Rodriguez. Top of the order, Reyes, 2 down, nobody on in the ninth. Reyes gets a base hit. He's 2 for 5 in the ball game. A double, single, run scored.
Yeah, pretty predictable when you throw a left-handed hitter 89 miles per hour low in the inside middle of the plate. He's just going to have a good swing. Doesn't guarantee a base hit, but it's going to be authoritative swing. And that's the danger zone for Brad Bergeson. That and again up out and over the middle of the plate when he elevates the sinker.
Second leading base stealer in the National League, Reyes with 15. On with 2 down, Angel Pagan. 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored. Wieters has thrown out right in the ball game on a strike him out, throw him out double play that came in the 6th inning. Matt at 35% throwing out base stealers. 2 down. And that'll be inside for a ball. Michael Bjorn, the leader with Houston. McCutchen, Terrio, Victorino. Here's the 1-0 delivery. There he goes. Bunt show. Wieters throw. And not in time.
Yeah, as quick as Bergeson is to the plate. And, I mean, that's a rocket. Great jump. Big lead. Tough to throw anybody out. He takes a look right here. And then bang, bang. Look at this release. Tough play because he has to reach across the plate. But on the money. But, again, because the ball just skips a little bit. Watch the glove come up. And Reyes gets underneath it.
Now Pagan with 2 down. And gets the RBI chance with a runner at second base. And takes it to right. Nick Markakis. And he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. The Orioles need to do it in the bottom of the 9th inning. More is Turris Patterson due up. Moore will lead it off. He is single 1 for 3. Then is Turris and Patterson due up. In this first interleague game, the Orioles looking back here in the last, since the 4th inning, 5 innings, they've left 8 runners on, 6 of those in scoring position. They've had the leadoff man in all of the last 5 innings on base. And they scored 1 run. Here is Scott Moore. And and that'll be in there for a strike from Rodriguez. Feliciano worked an inning, gave up 3 hits but no runs, and had a strikeout. Dickey a chance to go 4-0, 1 run, 7 hits over 7. Jeremy Guthrie 4 runs, 7 hits over 7. Pitcher of record for the Orioles. And it'll be up high, 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Does the front shoulder and the chin get to home plate? And right there it does. Head stays very still. Great extension with that front side. Kind of a deceptive. What's the arm come?
He'll be fouled off, and a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
And that's why the changeup is so effective, because when you throw that arm and then you see that arm speed, you see the quick arm, but the ball doesn't come as quickly as that 91, 92 mile per hour fastball. That's where the changeup effect comes. Kind of like the lake effect.
Cooler by the lake.
Jake Arrieta, 1-0 in the big leagues.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. And swung on and missed.
So even when you don't make a great pitch with it, as far as location, the deception of the, again, it's a very quick windup, and then he throws. What's the arm coming? Boom, and then it just kind of floats up there. Obviously doesn't field his position very well because he's going over to have a conversation with the Oriole dugout, but he's able to stay straight enough to be able to get a good line to home plate.
1 down, and here's his Torres. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Rodriguez will forever be associated with the rally monkey because in that World Series 2002 he appeared in 4 games, went 1-1, 8 2/3 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits. And it seemed as though every time he came out to pitch, it was time for the rally monkey to show up on the Angel scoreboard. It, of course, became the theme of that World Series year. And, man, I'm telling you, between the rally monkey and the power sticks, that those things you bang over your head, they were given out for all those games. Oh, my Lord.
And
it was headache time.
Then you had David Eckstein. Always, it seemed like he was on deck swinging those bats.
Always.
Looking like a little leaguer. And we'll see him in next weekend in San Diego.
Boy, was it loud in Anaheim when they won. Here's the 0-2 coming to his Torres from Rodriguez. And that'll be down low. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Updating you in the AT&T Player of the Game voting. So far it looks like this. Close. Your chance to vote. A, B, or C. 51862. Results on the O's Extra postgame show.
Not too much love for R.A. Dickey. 8 strikeouts and 1 run in 7 innings. I don't know.
Cast your ballot.
That's a lot of pitches for only 20% of the votes. 1 swing.
People don't like that knuckler, I guess.
Apparently not.
1-2 delivery on the way. Swung on and missed. So Rodriguez comes on and gets 2 strikeouts.
Well, that's 11 on the night for the Mets pitchers. There's your curveball. So we've seen it. The fastball. You can see the almost 2-stage swing. It's trying to wait long enough to be able to make contact, and Cesar Torres couldn't do that.
This will be a new high in strikeouts in the year. The Red Sox in the game on June 4 had a total of 10. Corey Patterson, 2 down, nobody on. And that is taken for a strike. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Patterson certainly didn't like the knuckleball tonight. He struck out 3 times against R.A. Dickey, and the last time up 7th inning picked up a single. Corey trying to keep it alive for the Orioles. Each team with 10 hits, but the Mets have the 5-1 lead. Chris Carter's 3 RBI homers, still the big blow in the game. Driven hard, center field, going back. Pagan, that one deep and off the base of the wall. It'll be a stand-up double, the second hit of the night for Corey Patterson.
Well, they're going to most likely out-hit the Mets. Corey Patterson, awfully good hitter when he can get a ball in the middle of the plate, and that's what happens here Pagan, good sense of that he can't catch up with it, tries to play it off the wall, but Patterson with great speed easily into second to keep the game alive. A game of lost opportunities. That's what this one's been.
The Orioles have picked up the hits and the opportunities,
but not at the right time.
Nope. Those base runners left on loom large.
Well, and plus they mount a monstrous comeback.
Here's Tejada. Tejada's got a 2-hit ball game. 2 for 4, 2 singles. Ruben Tejada will be particularly prepared for this at bat at second base. 2 for 11 for the Mets and 3 for 16 for the Orioles. Not especially solid for either team.
Well, that's a combination of a number of things. You don't hit well. The other team pitching usually stops good hitting, and that's been the case tonight. Dickey pitched very well. Guthrie pitched well, other than what Rick Dempsey said, the one changeup that Carter went down and got for his first major league home run.
Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way. That's ripped foul.
But again, if you didn't look at the scoreboard and you think all the opportunities, got to get a run or so. I mean, he got one, but you think you'd get at least 3, 4, 5 runs on the board. Guys swinging the bat pretty well, but at the clutch time, to this point, unable to get it done.
Patterson off second base. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Tejada. Francisco Rodriguez, the 1-1. And Tejada waving at a good pitch down and away, 1-2.
He gave it a wow. That's that changeup again. When Frankie Rodriguez came up, he used to be 95, and that just slider that was almost impossible because of the break and the tilt. But again, he's added 2 other pitches since then.
Tejada's 5 for 10 off him. 5 for 10 with a home run. 1 ball, 2 strike count. They faced each other in the National League. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's the ball game. This one goes in the books for the Mets as Rodriguez strikes out the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Interleague game. The Mets 5 and the Orioles won the final.